Good day and welcome to SCO BRICS Insight, where we look at what's really going on in the world of the BRICS. Now today I'm going to talk about a geographic phenomenon that's currently taking place in the Arctic. And it's not actually been talked about, but it does have some serious implications for the world. Now the North Magnetic Pole, which is located in the Earth's core beneath the Arctic Ocean, is moving rapidly towards the Russian coast in Siberia. Plus it's moving further and further away from the geographic North Pole on an annual basis. So, the North Pole is joining the BRICS and wants to be involved in the Russian Arctic North Sea route from Europe to Asia. I do wonder how the Russophobic Western wankerati in Washington, Brussels and London are going to spin about the evil Russians are stealing the North Pole, and probably Santa Claus as well. Now on a serious note, this move has significant implications for artillery, sea and air navigation, and the solutions required to mitigate these problems are really going to have to be investigated, and solutions coming up by some of these experts. Now before I continue, I'd like to make an appeal. If you like and enjoy my videos, you can help me fund the channel and my website scobricsinsight.com to further develop it. You can do this by making a small donation, which you can do by clicking on the thanks button at the bottom of the video screen. Everybody who donates does get a personal thank you from me. Now, being in Russia and having travelled to the north, I do actually know what I'm talking about on this issue. Now, two aspects of the Earth's magnetic poles are of particular interest to geophysicists. That's their unstable speed and their unpredictable trajectory. Now the primary focus is on the North Magnetic Pole, which geographically speaking is actually south of the North Pole, and it's Antibes, which is located in Antarctica, where there's no sea or air traffic. Now in contrast, the Arctic is becoming increasingly active due to the ice melting, and the British Geographical Society, or Geological Society in collaboration with the National Atmospheric and Oceanographic Association, has published the latest World Magnetic Model monitoring data for this year. Now this model is updated every 5 years, and the most recent version, WMM 2025, was released on the 17th of December and will remain valid until the end of 2029. Now recent data has revealed a significant deviation in the coordinates of the magnetic pole established in 2020. This indicates a discrepancy between the established location and its actual position by the end of 2024. Over the past 5 years, the pole has continued to drift from the Canadian Arctic to the coast of Russia. Consequently, the entire grid of magnetic parallels and meridians has shifted relative to that plotted on the 2020 map by several more arc minutes. Now this discrepancy will become more evident if one attempts to navigate from the centre of Moscow to Altrafeo, geographic north, using only a compass. Instead, you'll find yourself 10 degrees east of Altrafeo in Mendevelkovo. This shift necessitates adjustments to no global navigation devices utilising magnetometers to align with the revised magnetic declination tables. The shift also has implications for species that rely on the magnetic field for survival, such as whales, sea turtles, migratory birds and other species with the sixth sense. Furthermore, the crown of the Earth's magnostratosphere is situated above the magnetic pole, represents the most unprotected point on the planet from solar radiation. As long as this point is located in uninhabited high latitudes, radiation doesn't cause any serious damage to the biosphere. However, should the crown shift into areas with higher population density, then there'll be a significant increase in the severe radiation risk to the population. Now, it's important to note that the rate of the pole shift has actually decreased in comparison to several previous decades, when it was actually increasing on an annual basis. Until the end of the 20th century, the rate of the shift was approximately 10 kilometres per year. But in 1990, the magnetic pole shifted by 55 kilometres in a single event. In 2015, the movement was 35 kilometres, and since then, the speed of the pole shift has remained unchanged. However, Geophysicists currently lack the capability to predict the speed or future trajectory of the magnetic pole shift, as this depends on complex dynamics of the Earth core, which still remains inaccessible to current scientific study. Now, new data on the location of the magnetic pole is especially important for industries that use magnetic compasses or magnetometers, where satellite orientation is not a viable option for various reasons, explains Valery Petrov, who's a leading researcher at the Pushkov Institute of Terrestrial Magnetism, Ionosphere and Radio Wave Propagation of the Russian Academy of Sciences. He says, despite the widespread use of GPS and GLONASS, magnetic compasses are still used as a backup orientation system. Now, the primary reason for this is the relatively low reliability of satellite navigation, which can be lost for a variety of natural reasons, on submarines, on doing underground work, in the taiga, in dense multi-story buildings, or being jammed intentionally. Consequently, in artillery systems, the use of compasses with conventional magnetic compass is essential. This is because an error of 1 angular minute can result in a discrepancy of approximately 30 meters for every kilometer on the ground. So when guiding a missile to a target at a distance of 100 kilometers, this would lead to a deviation of 3 kilometers. Consequently, all individuals and organisations who utilise compasses in their professional activities, such as the military, navigators of sea vessels and others, are obligated to make regular adjustments to their magnetic declination tables. Now, it's recommended that these adjustments be made more frequently than just once every 5 years. However, in practice, should doesn't mean do, since there are no regulations in Russia or elsewhere that would oblige users to track the magnetic field monitoring data. He says this practice was regulated in the Soviet Union since the 1970s, and there isn't a corresponding bill, but in Russia it ceased to be mandatory. However, users for whom this is critical in their activities update the tables themselves as they need it. For instance, Imran receives orders from the geological exploration companies every 2 or 3 years to recalculate magnetic coordinates. But there's no global standard for map amendments, and the WMM, IGRF and Russian Institute models coexist together. Now, all of these models are equally accurate, so there's no significant difference between them. Now, geographers emphasise that the dynamic nature of the North and South poles, which change location with every few thousand years or almost instantly on a geological scale. I mean, the last occurrence of this phenomenon was in 780,000 years ago, and the next update of the magnetic pole location in the WM is scheduled for 2030. So, I do wonder how the West is going to respond to this news of the North Pole moving to Russia and becoming part of the BRICS. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this visit. Do let me know in your comments about Russia stealing the North Pole. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. And if you want to help me out, click on the thanks button at the bottom of the screen and make a donation, and I'll see you all again soon. Thank you.